Hello everyone. It's cold. And I missed the camera. Today's video is about my new 1UP USA Super Duty double bike rack made fully in the USA. I'll be discussing why I got the hitch rack on my compact car as well as why I chose the 1UP hitch rack specifically. So sit back and enjoy. Starting off, my car is a 2017 Toyota Yaris IA, which by its dimensions is a compact car. It's very tiny and I was surprised to find out I can actually install a hitch on this car. I initially tried installing everything myself, but it turns out that if you're a bad bike mechanic while knowing how to fix it, you definitely can't touch a car you have no knowledge about. One issue about installing a hitch onto my compact car was that it only has a 1.25 inch hitch available. This meant that if I wanted the more sturdy bike racks, I need an expander like I have here, and this makes the rack a little bit further away from the back of my car. Now the reason I got the hitch rack was due to many annoyances and difficulties I had with the trunk rack I had prior. So let me explain 4 problems with my trunk rack that the hitch rack solved. The first one is the hassle to attach the rack onto the car. The trunk rack isn't something you always keep on your car, so you repeatedly have to take it on and off. And a trunk rack with all its cables and attachments take quite a while to put on, and it's just annoying to deal with. The rack attaches with numerous cables around your trunk. You can see the sped up process of attaching the trunk right now, and it takes almost 4 to 5 minutes just to put the rack onto my trunk. Comparatively, attaching the hitch rack initially took about 10 minutes, but I don't have to take it off. So setting up the rack to put my bike on it is about 15 seconds with the hitch rack. The next issue is with putting bikes on itself. Although this trunk rack is for 3 bikes, in reality, it's really difficult to fit 3 performance bikes. Especially the smaller sized bikes or mountain bikes with smaller triangles is really difficult to fit on. It's a lot of Tetris, and additionally your bike will get scratched up by the bike rack rubbing on it as well as other bikes rubbing against each other. Comparatively, the hitch rack is simply placing the bike on the tray in my case and tightening it up. The bikes don't interfere with each other, so there's no rubbing between the bikes, and the rack only touches the tires so your frame doesn't get damaged. The third annoyance with the trunk rack is trunk access. Opening the trunk will result in the rack coming off, and it's impossible to open your trunk with bikes on the rack. I would have to leave the rear seat open before attaching the rack so that I can access it that way. Comparatively, the hitch rack has no impact to the trunk or bikes. Okay, maybe it'll hit the wide bars a little bit, so if you actually use the lowering mechanism, I can easily open the trunk and access the inside of my trunk. This is really nice when I go on bike rides and don't want to leave equipment in the back seats. Side note, it's really heavy to lift 2 bikes since the rack is really low on a compact car, so it's kind of heavy. The last issue on the trunk rack that the hitch rack solves is security and reliableness. The trunk rack is just plastic parts that can break when your bike is on it. Additionally, the arms will get loose and slide on your cars as you drive, so it's quite worrisome to drive distances. Even when you don't have a bike on it, anyone can go and take these racks off if they tried a little bit. They're just hooked on. You don't really have to worry about the hitch rack coming off as you drive since they're bolted on with screws. The rack can also be locked to your hitch, so it's very difficult to take off and steal. Finally, I want to explain why I got the 1UP bike rack specifically for my compact car. The 1UP bike racks are designed perfectly for compact cars and sedans with lower ground clearance due to its incline design. This gives you more clearance and prevents scratching the rack as you go up or down hills. Most other bike racks don't have this incline since hitch racks are typically designed for more elevated cars like SUVs. Alrighty, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.